sports fans, Ed here, and let me introduce you right away to the absolute unquestioned secret of my success, and that is Google Reader. Google Reader, what is it? It's basically where everything that I'm interested in at all on the internet is all funneled and channeled into this one spot. From there, I can see what I'm interested in and then decide what to do with it, to save it, to use it, to do whatever, basically. Now, finding Google Reader is easy. If you just log into Google, if you just type in google.com/reader, you will get to this page and you will need to set up. And by setting up, the first thing you want to do is subscribe to some feeds. So I'm going to show you a very cool feed to subscribe to by example, and you'll notice a lot of the feeds and so on that you would log into. You'd be surprised where they are. And in fact, what is a dead giveaway for feeds is this little orange icon up here, where we go click to subscribe. So one of the hot tips, what I love to do is, for example, go into the forum here, and the forum has an RSS feed attached to it. And what's really super cool is that we can actually go and just click on the link here. There we are, and look at that, 30-day challenge forums general chat feed. And if I click on that, it'll actually automatically take me to Google Reader, and I can subscribe to all of these feeds. Now, of course, I've already subscribed to this one, but I'll explain how that goes shortly. So let's have a look at the functions of Google Reader first. Now, if you have a looking along the right-hand side here, you can see that I've got folders set up: Internet Marketing, Photography, Vital Reads, Web 2.0, AFL, Buying and Selling. Now, they're the only ones, because I've got it set currently to show me only stuff that I haven't read. I actually subscribe to a lot more feeds, like an Arsenal feed, or anything that interests me. Okay, anything at all that interests me. And then what I'm able to do is, typically, you'll be able to get all these feeds, and you'll be able to literally, look at this, you can literally skim through and see, here's a challenge post, and I can literally go in there, I can have a look, I can set it to send to, look at this, I can send it to Instapaper or Posterous or Twitter or Facebook. I'll show you how to set that up in just a second. And I can utilize and store all this information. You can also add subscriptions. So for example, if I typed in kite surfing here and clicked add, it actually, using the Google blog search, actually goes and looks for blogs that have feeds. And it also tells you their average posting per week. This one's 9.3 posts per week. And this is and tells you how many, according to Google, are their subscribers. So you can see that there's quite a few here. So being that I'm checking out kite surfing, I am going to, and notice people call it kiteboarding, which is, again, interesting. So if I have a look at and click subscribe, done. I'm subscribed automatically. And here's the thing, I can add it to a folder. And I'm going to create a new folder called, guess what? Kiteboarding. And I'm going to click OK. All right. And I can go through, this one's quite popular, so I'm going to grab this one. I'm going to add it to the folder. Where are we? Kiteboarding. There we are. Thank you very much for coming. It says these ones are pretty dead. Here we are. This one's 2.3 posts per week, so I think I'll grab that one. Grabbing subscribe. So how easy is this? It's brilliant. And this is like sucking all the information from around the world on kiteboarding and having it delivered to you in one easy peasy, dare I say, place. And here's the other really cool thing, just while I'm adding these, is there we are, kiteboarding. The amazing thing about all of this is, of course, this acts like an encyclopedia, because once I've read these, they don't disappear. They go into my archive, and I can search for items that I've previously looked at, that I've shared, and do any of these sorts of things. So here we are, we're just, videos tag kite surfing on Vimeo. That looks like there's quite a few there, so I'm just going to add that. Might be some nice, look at that done. And look, there's more pages, but you get the idea. Check this out now. So if I scroll down here, look at this, kiteboarding. All of a sudden, look at all of this, videos, kite surfing, I can go in and have a look at that. I can watch in place. And, and on I go. I can have a look, kiteboarding news. I can use my Evernote to check it out. Here's one, windsurfing and kite surfing. I was like, okay, that's interesting. Oh, look at that. These are all the kite, that's interesting. So wind map, places where they do windsurfing and kite surfing. And I can go back to Google Reader. Oops, wrong one. This one. And look at that. I've just got all this information here. If I want to remember it, I can add a star, and so I'll remember it. If I want to do like it, which is probably a better way to go, I can hit like, and that will be liked. I can, funnily enough, send an email, and where I could send this if I wanted to. I could send a note and send that off to Postgres if I wanted to. All of these are options, right, that I can do. It's phenomenal, and we're going to show you as we continue on during the week. Look at all this information that's just here. And this is just in the last week or so of kiteboarding information. And it's all delivered to me direct here, which is just phenomenal. Now, let's have a look at some settings and setup here. If we go to Reader Settings by going up to Settings, language, all items in Expand View, mark items as read as you scroll past them. That's a good idea. I don't use Expand View, and I'll show you why. Start with the navigations. Only show likes by people you follow, which is great. You can follow other people, and all the rest of that's fairly standard. You can manage your subscriptions. These are all the subscriptions that I have, which is quite interesting, and you can change the folders there. You should try to put them in folders as much as you can, because they help you when you're reading and when you're on the run. You can see folders and tags. You can go through and edit all of those and see how they go. You can see, we can add bookmarks to Google, use Reader on your iPhone and all that sort of thing, although I'm going to talk about that in a second. And now what's interesting is you can even share your subscriptions. So if you wanted to share it with somebody, you can export using OPML, but don't worry about that at the moment. Most important thing I wanted to show you here was send to. And so you can automatically configure these sites. So you can send it to Dig, you can send it to Listius, you can send it to Ping FM, to Postgres as I've got put up here, you can send it to Twitter. Now I have to say, and most importantly, my personal favourite, Instapaper. I have to say, I don't use these functions anymore. I used to use a lot, and if you're on the PC, you definitely want to use those functions. Using share with note, and send to. Like, if you want to send that to Twitter, you would pop it off to Twitter. And it automatically, look at that, pops it straight in, and I could hit tweet, and off I go to the races there. So typically when I wake up, I would literally go through, have a look, and the beauty of setting it up in this particular view, which is called list view, sometimes you might see this expanded view. I just want to show you this. I don't use that because it takes too long to scroll through. Instead, I want to use the list view, and I will literally scroll through, and if I see something that's interesting, this one's an interesting one, I can blow through, have a look, and see it's there. And this is really interesting. It's actually fascinating. I can't wait to have a read of this. Now, I don't have a lot of time to read this now. So what I would do Wow, this is really interesting. So I would want to send to Instapaper. Right, and because it's got my recognizer, I'll say thank you and I'll click add. Takes me straight back. And then once I'm on, I will be able to read that later. And if it's really good, then I will be able to go back and have a look at it. If, continuing on, look at this. Look, and I use it for all sorts of things like this. I obviously monitor different things. SEO equalizer, $8,001. Not bad. Okay, so that's a very interesting thing there as well. So I'm just scrolling through, and anything that strikes me as interesting, I can have a look through here and see how quickly, like there's 40 items there, and I can literally, takes me just a couple of minutes to flick through anything that's interesting to me. I can literally grab that, and once I'm done, I mark that as read, and look at that, I've already got that in 40 minutes or less. It's fantastic. Confession to make. I don't use Google Reader on the computer anymore. I use, funnily enough, my iPad and my iPhone to do that. You can also use, an Android smartphone or any other device. And what I'm going to do tomorrow is show you how I do that. Having said that, the tools are not important. The fact is you can do this in your local library on a borrowed PC. It's easy. There's no excuse that you don't need these tools to do it. But I do want to show you the best way to do that. So look forward to that tomorrow. Action points for today: get Google Reader set up, do your search in for your niche, subscribe to some blogs, check them out, maybe take an article that's interesting and make some comments about it and post it into your Posterous network. That would be fantastic. All right, have fun today, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.